No doubt, this is the greatest hip hop instrumental album ever made.
Yeah, I mean, what if the greatest hip hop album ever made had no words and was made in a hospital? Donuts isn't just music, it's a farewell letter, it's a blueprint, it's a revolution. But, anyways, guys, this is the MC Guy. I am Rossi, and thank you again for tuning into another video here where we're giving a throwback review of J Dilla's Donuts. Now, MC Guy, you can go ahead and touch upon the background here for um, J Dilla so we can get right to the album here.
Yeah, no doubt, Donuts is actually the final album that J Dilla released in his lifetime. The legendary Detroit producer. And it actually is one of the best and most. He was actually one of the best and most gifted rap producers who ever lived. Actually, this album was actually made on Dilla's deathbed while he was in hospital, hospitalized for TTP and lupus, and it was actually released on Dilla's 32nd birthday, actually on the 7th of February 2006. And he tragically passed away 3 days after this album was released on the 10th of February 2006. Now, you and I, Rossi, we were about like 6 and 7 years old when this album dropped. We both, had have never heard of J Dilla at the time. We were probably out like playing hide and seek or watching Ben 10 or something. So, what
Yeah.
stood out to you about this album when you first heard it?
This album is, in my opinion, a masterpiece of sampling, rhythm, and emotions. Even though it's just an instrumental album, it refined the production level that hip hop has today, in my opinion, and it gave a lot of inspiration over to a lot of key producers that we have over today. But this album, it feels like it tackles a lot of themes with its elegant loops that it does have. It provides a sort of meditation in regards towards life, in regards towards death, love, and joy. And even though it is experimental in that aspect, it feels very soulful, it feels very raw, and actually feels human. It feels like, has this human element over to it, and it really puts one in the mind state of what Jay Dilla was going through, especially with the type of disease that he had, and him making this album on his deathbed. So it's really inspirational in that aspect, and it's not just the petty matter of the album being made on his deathbed, but this album is literally, in my opinion, the greatest instrumental hip hop album ever made.
Yeah, I agree. I really like what you said about like it feels human. I feel like, yeah, he takes you through like a wide range of emotions on this album. I really agree. I really agree with you on that. But for me, like when I first listened to it, like I immediately fell in love with this record. Like when I first heard it, because there's something so like nostalgic about this album for me. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like I've known it my whole life or something. Like they just remind me of like home. Like I immediately just feel homesick whenever I listen to the songs on this album. It makes me like emotional when I listen to a lot of the songs on this too. Like now maybe that's what Dilla had in mind going into this record, especially with like the state his health was in at the time. He probably just felt very homesick. But yeah, that's the first standout for me, just how homesick and nostalgic the album makes me feel. But yeah, let's just get over into our analysis. What did you think of the album, dude?
Yeah, the album is very structured very well. Now it has a, long track list. I think I saw 43 tracks here, so don't let that scare you. These songs are about a minute or two long. They're very to the point, and the production is basically spoken over towards the song. Every track feels like he's going through a different emotion that he's trying to convey within the production of this album and deliver it over towards the audience here given. I think it's structured very well. There aren't any misses in terms of the beat productions on this album. It's just very concisive. It feels like an endless loop in an aspect. And when the album repeats over again, it doesn't feel like I'm listening to the same album, to be honest. It just feels like I could listen to this forever. I mean, I had this stuck for like half a day, not realizing that, oh, this has been looping for quite some time here. The album is structured very well. There's a lot of, like I said, emotion given on the album, a lot of presence from J Dilla on this album, showing what he's going through in that aspect. And there's a lot of elements that we can't pick from. We can't really speak towards the words said on this album, given that no words are basically said, but we can always convey what is being felt through that emotion and give our
Mm.
thoughts here. But that's basically what I thought of the album there. Please go ahead and give me your thoughts on the album.
So yeah, it's actually 31 songs on the record. I'm gonna get to the reason why it's 31 songs in a bit.
Mm,
Maybe just saw some deluxe version that I'm not aware
yeah,
of, but like yeah,
yeah.
it's actually quite astonishing that Jay Dilla produced this on his deathbed. Actually, like this rap producer extraordinaire crafted like such an emotional, creative, instrumentally diverse, and epic musical journey with this album. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, how nostalgic the album feels for me. And Dilla was actually intentional with this vibe because he sampled music from his upbringing mostly. He grew up in Detroit, raised in a deeply musical household. His mother was a singer, and his father played jazz, bass, and piano. And the house was always filled with soul, funk, jazz, Motown, and 70s rock records. And Dilla sampled a ton of 1970s and early 1980s records for this album, many of which he likely heard as a kid, like the Isley Brothers, Jackson 5, Dionne Warwick, The Silvers, 10cc, and Frank Zappa. So these weren't just obscure crate digs, like these were records from his childhood living room. So yeah, I'm sure the album was a sort of reflection of his life, and it's evident in the fact that there are 31 songs on this album, and he made this album when he was 31 years old. And even in the title of the album, he named it Donut, which he apparently loved. And donuts are actually obviously the same shape as vinyl records, just like a circle and stuff. So that's a nice nod to some desserts that he actually liked. And also, the songs on the album were actually supposed to be interludes for rappers on the same label as J Dilla on Stone Throw Records, but thankfully they made it onto their own record. But rappers like Ghostface Killer, Busta Rhymes, and Common actually did end up using some of the beats on this for some of their own songs. But yeah, let me get to these songs, dude. Yeah, the opening track immediately sucks you in for me, and it takes you back. Well, it takes me back. That Gary David sample that Dilla chops up immediately just gives that nostalgic feeling that this album gives to me. Like I love the thumping bass on that track Waves, and that 10cc sample is one of the best moments on the album. Like where Dilla makes you weirdly want to sing along to the samples. Like he does that quite often on the record, like where you may not be able to sing along to the lyrics, but you sing along to the samples of the record. But like yeah, another clear sing along tune is the song Stop, which heavily samples a Dionne Warwick sample on the track. Like now when I hear this track, I immediately feel like a kid again, back in Eastern Cape at my grandmother's house, listening to some of the old Motown era songs that she used to play. Also some of the old R&Bs my mom used to play when I was a little kid too. Dilla's chopping and looping of that track is so good. Like it actually kind of also helps revive many of these songs for our generation actually, because I looked up the main samples of many of the songs since I liked them so much and started listening to the original tracks that he sampled to the original tracks and those artists. It's a nice way of putting our generation into onto older artists. I also really love Time, the Donut of the Heart. It has one of the best drums on the album, and I love that sped up Jackson 5 sample. Stepson of the Clapper also has killer boom bap drums. And I also really love 111. Like it just makes me so sad that song. Just those violins and that looped Smokey Robinson sample on there too. It's such a somber sounding track, and it just breaks my heart really. But it's actually followed up with the more one of the more upbeat tracks on this album, which is called Two Can Win. I really love those bouncy ass drums. I really love that catchy bass tune, and I really love the sing along chorus playing throughout that song as well. Now, probably the most iconic track on here is the heart wrenching Don't Cry. Now, Dilla actually produced this song for his mother while he was hospitalized. She was obviously distraught with his health condition, and Dilla made this song to cheer her up. I love this song, really, dude. I really, really, really love it. It really is one of the saddest rap songs ever made, and it's just an instrumental too. Like he chops and loops a song by the Escorts called "I Can't Stand to See You Cry," and that heavy bass line in the track and chopped vocals really just break my heart. It's a powerful tearjerker of a track, made even sadder by the story behind the song too. And probably the most nostalgic track on here for me is Gobstopper. Like, dude, I just want to go back home when I listen to this track, dude. Like, it's just, or at least go back to my childhood when this album dropped. Like, that sample is heavenly. Like, I just love the horns in it, and I love that bass line too. Like, I feel like I'm a kid in Eastern Cape playing with my homies on a late afternoon whenever I hear this track. There's something just so nostalgic about the song. It's a very very deeply nostalgic song for me. I don't know, maybe I've heard it before or something when I was a kid. Like I don't know, but the song just really takes me back for some reason. It's the purest distillation of my feelings toward the album, actually. I could also talk about many, many more tracks, but the last track I'll mention is You Love. I love that Motown feel on that track. It's one of the sweetest songs on the album, too. And I also love that the closing track and actually loops back to the first track on the album. So if you put the whole album on repeat and stuff, it would feel like a seamless ending loop of an album, kind of like a donut, which is actually very fitting. But what about you, bro? What can you say in terms of your analysis?
Yeah, yeah. I do also want to touch on the songs that I did very, very much enjoy. Despite me just enjoying the whole album in general, I do want to highlight a couple of songs here, such as Working on It. It's a very bold opener, builds a chopped rock frenzy from the 10 cc's, and yeah, it's a very, very dynamic song in that aspect, or a dynamic beat, if you'd like me to say. You have Waves here, which is very subtle, it's very jazzy, but it feels very haunting at the same time as well. Um, the music corner guy just touched on it. Don't Cry. It's a very, probably my favorite song on the album here. It's very, very emotional because it's also a beat per se that I can relate to in this aspect of me having troubles with my mom in the past and me patching up that relationship. Seeing her tears in that and seeing her vulnerable in that regard made me really think about that moment, or hearing that song made me think about that moment and seeing how how far we've came, especially with her being my main support system in my life, besides my friends and that. But yeah, there's also songs like Two Can Win, Time, The Donut of the Heart, Gob Stompers, Last Donut of the Night, and Welcome to the Show that I did include here on my favorite songs. But this album is just an impeccable listen. It's something that I could listen to forever. If it was a choice of me actually picking which album I would, keep forever, I'd most probably pick this, or at least it would be within my top 10, if not my top five most loved songs that I've ever heard in general. Um, it's just amazing. It's just nothing short of amazing in terms of this album. I really, really enjoyed it. The music corner guy, he actually recommended this over to me, and like I said, the first listen, I was so shocked that I was listening to this for half the day. With it being a continuous loop of the album, it was just very, very impeccable. I really, really love this album so much, and yeah, these are just my thoughts over. Do you want to get over to the rankings, or do you have more to say?
I guess yeah. Let me just go quickly into my pros and cons. I guess yeah. I already like praised this album to death, but yeah, just a quick refresher. I guess J Dilla has this unique way of making you emotional with his beats, and I feel like he just really does a stellar job on this. Like some beats feel nostalgic, somber, or quite jovial too. And I really love the diverse plethora of sampling choices, from soul samples to electronic music, rock samples, and even heavily vocal samples. And I really love the diverse nature of the moods expressed with the beats on this album. Like they'll have you like feeling all kinds of emotions. And yeah, the song that's on this album, the songs on this album actually fit into like a wide variety of playlists too. Like I have it in so many of my playlists. Like I have it in like my good mood playlist, my chill mood playlist, like whatever. And like, yeah, the only con that I can think of is like the songs for me like are just a little too short. I guess that's not even really a con. It's like they're too short because like
Like a
they
mixtape.
hold my
Yeah.
enjoy, like they hold my enjoyment of it. It's like I wanted more of this track, so please just make it longer.
Yeah.
So it's not even. It's technically not even a con. But like, yeah, that's it. That's it. So I guess now we can get to the standout tracks. What are your favorite tracks on this album?
Yeah, yeah. No, I did name most of them here. Like I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
Working with Waves, Don't Cry. Yeah, those were my standout tracks basically.
Oh yeah, my bad, my bad. Okay, so let me just get to mine. So mine would be yeah, Waves. Waves is such a fire track. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I also really like Stop, Time, The Donut of the Heart, 111, Two Can Win, Don't Cry, Gobstopper, and You Love. So now, I guess maybe we can get to our verdict now. What is your final verdict on this album?
This album's gonna get an S tier, 10 out of 10. Will highly recommend. I mean, if you guys are just a hip hop fan in general, matter of fact, if you guys are just a music fan in general, guys, just listen to this album. It's one of the best that you'll ever hear in your lifetime. I'm sure your lifetime. Yeah, it's just incredible, an amazing listen. It's gonna get an S tier for me. One of the best albums I've ever heard. One of the best albums ever made in general.
Yeah, those are some really, really strong words. But yeah, Rossi's right, guys. This album really is a blast through and through. Like, Dilla crafted something amazing with this record, guys. Like, there is no hip hop instrumental album that's better than this one. It's one of my all time favorite albums, too. It definitely gets an S tier for me. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's it. Let's wrap up the video. Thanks for subscribing and liking our videos. Please continue to do that. Help us reach 100 subscribers. Y'all seem to really be loving what we dropped last week, so we'll keep them coming, guys. Now, most of you are watching unsubscribe for some reason, so like, what are you waiting for, guys? Just help us out. Like, subscribe. And like, yeah, comment your thoughts on each of our videos. Tell us what you think of this album. Tell us, you can even suggest more albums that you'd like us to recommend or do a review of. Keep in mind that these rerun reviews aren't necessarily just albums that we like. It's just more like a retrospective. Like, we'll also talk about albums that we maybe didn't like so much. So yeah, just tell us what you'd like us to review. But yeah, any last words from you, Rossi?
Nothing more. Like I said, guys, please go check out this album. But nonetheless, we really do appreciate the support that you've given us. It really means a lot to the MC guy and myself here. We definitely got some more cooked up for you. But if you guys have any sort of recommendations, anything at all, do not be afraid to comment it by down below. You can also hit us up at our socials at the Music Corner Guy on all our socials. We're everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok,
TikTok.
also here on YouTube as well. So please interact with us, guys. We're not going to stop over this. We're going to keep going. We'd really like to hear your thoughts on this. We'd like to hear your recommendations, your suggestions, anything at all, guys. Just keep watching and we'll keep the videos rolling. But nonetheless, we do appreciate you watching today. It's been the MC guy and Rossi signing out. Take care, guys.
Peace.